Welcome to Total Fitheads.
Serious fitness for not so serious people.
Max, you're looking lean. Svelte, even.
Got it. Thank you. Actually, I am feeling lean, svelte. Well, no, I'm feeling normal-ish. I'm cutting weight. Not cutting weight. I'm slimming down.
What's the difference?
Cutting weight is losing weight temporarily for a very short amount of time. I guess I am cutting weight for a very short amount of time in a medium to unhealthy manner. In my brain specifically, water weight is a big factor of that. So if I had to weigh in, I would lose some weight, and then the day or two before I'd cut weight, which means you don't drink any water for a day, or you sweat a lot and don't drink any water, or you don't eat any salt for a day or two, and get a little bit of that water weight out of you so you're a little bit lighter. Step on a scale and then immediately chug 2 Gatorades or a Pedialyte or whatever. That's so cutting weight in my brain.
Wrestling and or red carpet situation.
Correct. This is what they do for shirtless beach scenes in movies, or
cover of Men's Health.
Cover of Men's Health, or if a guy has to look like Wolverine for a scene, then he'll stop drinking water for 2 days or whatever and look incredible for 8 paces and a claw pose, and then that's it. They've figured it out. It's very it's a bit of an art, bit of a science now, but it's definitely a practice to do these.
But the end of it, I have it wrong, because I saw Stanimal, our first interview ever, was talking about doing a competition recently, and he said he was filling out right before the stage. What is that?
So that's when you've cut out all the salt and sugar and anything bad out of your body for a long, long time. And then right before you chug like a Coca-Cola or like something super sugary, salty, sweet, something. And then all of a sudden your muscles like, whoa, what is that? And they like balloon up to, the muscle balloons up to, because of a freak out. I'm not sure why. I think they want to suck in as much of the salt and sugar as they can, or they could just get super excited like a blowfish, or I don't know. But
the muscle does, not the fat, not the bloat.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I think you've lost all the fat. Fat doesn't do anything. It just sits there. Muscle does stuff, right? Fitness podcast.
Muscle does stuff. You learned today, Fitheads. You're welcome.
Yeah, but you can't flex your fat, can you? No. I just tried it. No, you can't.
Good effort. Okay. Yeah, so right at the end you get all and carby.
Yeah, I think it's carb, or it might be sugar. It might even be salt. I'm not sure, but a can of Coca-Cola or a Snickers or whatever. I've never done that. That's what people do to look super good right before whatever.
Yeah. And veins, I think there's something you do for veins too.
I think you just sort of pulse workout.
Oh, so yeah. You see the bros backstage pulling on a towel against each other or whatever.
Yeah. And I think you flex and release in rapid succession, and that does it. So, but that's not what I'm doing. That's a cut. That's a weight cut. So that's like, if you have to achieve your goal, and your goal happens to last 12 hours or less, that's a weight cut. Whereas people who want to quote unquote lose weight, they want to lose body fat long term. They want to, I guess I'm not really sure what I'm doing. I have I'm taking some photos next week, some headshot photos. Ooh. I'm going to be wearing a shirt, thumbs down, but
sleeves?
I'm not sure. Probably sleeves. They're relatively professional, which is kind of lame.
Fine, we'll fix it with AI.
Yeah, exactly. But I wanted to slim down a little bit. I guess I wanted to not be as overeating puffy as I've been. I got up to 210. That's the heaviest I've ever been.
Look at you.
Whatever. I'm 5'10". You shouldn't be over 200 pounds if you're 5'10". You should be right. Well, I don't know. Maybe. Who knows?
Is that the rules?
It's tough on the heart. you know, more weight, more blood, more strain in the old ticker.
Can you
That's
sense
my
that when you're going
personal.
upstairs and stuff?
No, I think it's over a long term, a half a lifetime or whatever.
Oh, so are you saying BMI is real if we're talking about your heart health?
I don't know. I know that I again, I didn't go to medical school, I just sort of
Wait,
it's
what?
a no sleeves
Why do I even
university.
have you as a co-host? John J. Quish University?
Caribbean. Didn't you say you wanted to start a oh no. I thought you were going to start a university in the Caribbean. Is that your next stunt?
No, I just started giving out letters.
Right, right, right.
So you
But
don't have to do any work to have the letters at the end of your name.
accredited university.
You think I didn't Google this before? That's the whole thing about the letters, is that there's no such thing as accreditation or whatever. There's no one decides who can give out letters and who doesn't.
Accreditation.
Yeah, I don't know.
Accreditation. That's probably what it is.
Today the decision.
Well, would there be an advantage to starting a university in the Caribbean somewhere? Or I guess wherever.
I mean, tax cuts, being able to put something in front of your name, which also I think is maybe questionable.
Picking a logo. A mascot, picking a mascot.
Whoa.
Bumblebees. What was the Tinkerbells?
What's that from?
That's what your university mascot would be if it was based around you. The
Why?
Tinkerbells.
Because I'm magic and can fly?
Yeah, you got a top bun and you wear skirts or green jumpsuits, I guess.
That's Peter Pan. The Peter Pans, I feel like, is more fitting. Sleep in a
Okay.
bunk bed. We're the Peter Pans.
Do they both wear green jump? Oh, they're supposed to be made out
No,
of
Tinkerbell's pink.
leaves, foliage. Tink wears green. Tinkerbell wears green, not pink. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I know, she's in pink. Peter Pan's in green. Tinkerbell's in pink.
They're both in green. You want to bet? Are you
No.
thinking of Barbie?
Probably. Tinkerbell's definitely in pink. Now I'm Googling
Let's
it.
bet. Let's bet another tattoo while we're at it.
Double or nothing. Oh my god, it's green.
Two
how
tattoos?
dumb.
Uh-oh.
Well, they're going to be symmetrical, I guess.
Well, that one's going to be a Tinkerbell.
One Tinkerbell and then one reflection of a Tinkerbell on the other boob.
Tinkerbell looking at herself, at her reflection in the mirror, and with gross body dysmorphia.
Oh my god, I'm Googling fat Tinkerbell. Is that insensitive? Oh, wow. They're so cute.
Are these people or are they? Because didn't they try to expand? They did that stupid thing where they tried to expand the Peter Pan cinematic universe with other Tinkerbells, and wasn't there or am I thinking of Fern Gully? I thought they tried to do one of those straight to DVD movies where it was all the other Tinkerbells from other.
Why do you know this?
I have little siblings. I watch a lot of little kid videos, and there was Peter Pan. There's Aladdin 2 and 3. Did you know that? And they're terrible. Terrible.
Do they go right to VHS?
I think so. Aladdin 2, Jafar comes back as the genie and he's bad. And Aladdin 3, Aladdin's dad is a master thief or something, and they have to steal
This sounds like a great
hand.
setup.
Yeah. Well, Robin Williams was not the genie in the second one, so it was not already. It knocked down a couple of notches.
Yeah, I guess we know what the magic was in the first one.
Societal norms. How did you think Tinkerbell wore pink? That's so insensitive of you.
What? What do you mean? Because all women wear pink, duh.
She's a fairy. Is she a woman?
What?
I guess she is.
I don't know how she fits in with the other fairies if she's in that green. Because it seems nonsense that they both would wear green. We got to tell them apart.
Well, one of them's one of them's full size human size, okay. And one of them's
small but hefty, according to what I'm looking at.
How will we ever tell them apart? Tinkerbell.
I
I was
loved
like
that movie Hook as a kid.
Hook. Terrific movie. Although I understand that when adults, as I understand it, my uncles told me that they thought it was like the weirdest movie ever. So I think if you see Hook as a little kid, you're like, this movie's awesome. And I think if you see Hook as an adult, you're like, what is this? This is bonkers weird. People thought like
Really?
Dustin Hoffman was super weird as Captain Hook. Uh,
Wasn't he trying to be?
what was the other thing? Yeah, I mean, I thought so. Oh
Now
yeah,
I'm
they were like,
scared to watch it again.
no, I feel like it's good though. I don't know. Rufio, that was
He's so
quite the
cool.
advance.
I met him at a bar once in LA.
Whoa.
The library bar on Santa Monica. No, sorry,
Yeah.
on Hollywood, in Hollywood.
Okay.
It's
Well, there's
fine. It
another
doesn't matter. The
library
bar
bar
doesn't
in
matter.
Santa Monica. Okay, yeah, whatever.
But
He was
he's
just sitting
there. But
there.
imagine an adult
Paint the.
Rufio and you're looking at someone, you're like, he looks familiar.
Are you at the bar? Is he sitting at
Why
the
is he
bar?
so distant but familiar? It's like
Did
I
he pull
know
out
him
that
from my
sword?
forever ago past. It's like I've watched him several times. Yeah, and then
Did
he
he
cawed.
skateboard in and then do like a 720 or like a three 720s in a row or whatever? And then did he have that golden sword and did he have red streaks in his hair?
And then 7 15-year-olds started chanting. No, he was just there. But he was friends with my other friends, and so they introduced him as Rufio, and then that was super easy for me.
They said this is Rufio. That's
Well, no,
awful.
that he was an actor, and then it hit. I got it.
Yeah.
He does stuff now. He was working on some independent
Yeah,
film.
he's a real actor.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like we have a lot of friends in common, actually. I've never met. Also, how do you think you spell Rufio? It's not roof.
RUF?
That's
ROOF?
RUF. I was spelling it ROO, and I'm like, why am I getting a roofing company? That's not what I'm looking for.
I'm surprised that's not a common costume these days. I feel like us millennials growing up would just do that every Halloween
I know.
for sure.
I mean,
And
Rufio
the
was
armor that they had was so cool.
so cool. And then just walk into it somehow.
Yeah. Oh, that montage is so awesome.
I know.
And that skateboard track. I figure skated to one of the songs from the soundtrack. That's how much I liked it.
Wow,
And
so you were
competed.
really into Hook, huh?
Super in the hook. Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting. You know the Glenn Close thing? Of course.
Oh, that she's the dude.
That was a real
The
horrible
dude
thing.
pirate.
There's a scene on the pirate ship where somebody betrayed Hook by betting against him, right? That he couldn't bring back the Manning children. Peyton Manning. Couldn't bring back Peyton Manning. Different movie. And then he says, it's you, and he points at somebody, and he walks through the whole thing, and you think he's pointing at Robin Williams, and he's really pointing at another pirate with a beard, and it turns out that's Glenn Close, and then he puts Glenn Close in the boo box, which is
The boo box.
a pirate chest with a small hatch that you can throw scorpions into. That was pretty freaky, I gotta say. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I'm surprised that didn't bother me. How am I not scarred from that?
Typical. That's fine. It's just the boo box. No big deal.
Just the boo box. And all the sets were so convincingly that world.
I know.
It must have been so expensive.
It must have been incredibly expensive.
He is the pen. Now I gotta go watch it. Now I'm scared to watch it because I won't like it.
Oh, you'll love it. I feel like it holds. It is a bummer to go back and watch movies when you're an adult and you're like, I loved this one, and then you watch it again, you're like, oh god, this is terrible.
Like Ace Ventura
But
is like extremely insensitive to trans people.
To a lot of things, but yeah, especially trans people. But Hook, I feel like will hold up. It's Spielberg, isn't it?
And Disney.
Yeah, and Peter Pan. It's perfect.
Thank goodness I didn't screw that up.
Can't believe Rufio. Spoilers. Can't believe Rufio. DIES at the end.
I forgot. Oh man, that would have been great to experience again. You jerk. Wait, how
did
is he dead?
you?
I met him at a bar.
Oh, well, maybe we're waiting on the sequel. I wonder what that's
Straight to
like having
video.
a role that sort of iconic as a little kid and then just never. I mean, it's not that you don't live it down. You do other stuff, but to constantly have people bring that up as a
Everyone
thing.
you meet at a bar goes, "Oh my god, you're Rufio." Yeah, that sucks. I'm sure it sucks. I'm sure there's a reason why he's trying to do independent films.
I don't know. Does it suck? I think it could be cool.
I mean, I would obviously always have a red mohawk and live the crap out of that. But I'm sure someone else wouldn't revel in
Right.
it.
I think it's, yeah, exactly. It's up to the person.
Like when I go to a convention and people are like, "You're the chia toilet person." I'm like, "Yes, exactly. That is my entire personality. Thank you. Do you want a photo?"
It's
I will
actually
still be the more
Miss
excited person in
Chia
the photo.
Toilet Person.
It's Miss Chia Toilet Person.
CTP.
Uh, yeah, what's going on your gravestone?
Just Max MAX.
Just Max MAX.
Yeah. Oh no, Max MAX. That's a good one. Because I have to say that because people always say Matt. Are you oh sorry, what'd you say? Matt? And I'm like, no. I recently saw a people always get my name wrong. It makes me crazy because they always think my name is Matt or Zach, which is a weird one, but I think that's just people's sort of. But I recently saw one of those. It was a group gathering of everyone named
Saw this.
Ryan.
I knew where this was going. Yeah.
You saw the one at the bar,
Yeah. We got
and
started
at
the
the
same
end,
thing.
they were like, "You know who sucks? Everyone named Brian." Oh no, it was Brian's, and everyone's like, "You know who I hate? People named Ryan." Or something like that because
It was
they
definitely Ryan's.
clearly.
And they're like, "What was that?" It's Ryan with an R.
There was a better one in Chicago. Do you remember the Josh meetup? Did I ever send you that one?
Yeah.
They had a
Where they
Josh
all met up
meetup.
and they had a noodle fight of some sort.
The fight was, believe it's a lightsaber fight, or maybe it's a noodle fight. I'm not sure what it's called, but the idea is that everyone is in a field. Everyone gets a pool noodle. If you hit someone with a pool noodle, they're dead. They're out. If someone hits you with a pool needle, you're dead. You're out.
Mm-hmm.
The
Is there
end.
one where you have it shoved in your shorts and you have to grab someone else's? I feel like I've seen that too. It's like
That's
capture the flag, but just one noodle.
that's a T-shirt. Well,
No,
I've played
just a
that with
t-shirt. Maybe it's not a
T-shirts,
noodle.
and
Yeah.
you put it in your the back of your shorts like a tail. Yeah, and if someone pulls it out, uh,
Hmm.
then you're out. And then we played that like just free for all. But that was we played that in wrestling, and then we just started playing that in a soccer field because it was so much fun. Because you could sort of like beat the shit out of each other. There was one where like a guy would like take you know what I mean? Like one guy's trying to get the towel, and the other guy's like taking a swing at him, and you're like, this is a weird. We're playing different games.
It just turns into bare knuckle boxing.
Yeah. I also created a game called Contact Wiffle Ball. I feel like I made up a lot of weird games, but this is a great game. Contact Wiffle
Calvin
Ball.
ball.
It's kind of hard to explain. No, Calvin Ball is cool on paper, but dumb in practice. Calvin Ball is a
Yeah,
great
because
game.
you have to have friends. I mean,
Well, next time around, when you actually make some friends as a grade schooler, if you ever have to go back to grade school. So
I'll
what
definitely
we
try
would
out
do
Calvin
is
ball.
contact wiffle ball was we had a lacrosse net, and then we had like a sort of a rubberized, very soft fence that was basically wrapped around where they would do groundskeeping, lawn care, whatever. So they do something to the grass, and then they put a soft rubber fence up. So like, please, you can walk here, but please don't walk over here. We just did something to the grass. I don't know. So the lacrosse net is facing the rubber fence. It's two giant teams, right? And team A lines up on the lacrosse net line. Team B lines up on the rubber fence line, facing each other. The pitcher takes a wiffle ball and tries to throw it to the batter. The batter is standing in front of the lacrosse net. If a ball goes into the lacrosse net, it's a strike. If it doesn't, it's a ball. If the guy makes contact, the hitter makes contact, then the hitter has to run and touch the fence and then run back and touch the lacrosse net. That's 1 point. Okay.
Mhm.
As soon as he makes contact, it's a free for all, and everybody can do anything they want on both teams. So you sort of charge at each other and just sort of annihilate
To protect
each other.
and attack
Correct.
the guy.
And to get the batter out, you have to take the wiffle ball and hit the batter with the wiffle ball.
Okay. So you don't have to be holding the ball if it touches him. You just
Nope,
peg
you
him.
just have to hit him with the ball. But the batting team can't they can't take the ball, like throw it into the field, into the woods or whatever. You know what I mean? They can the batting team cannot like grasp the ball. You know, they can slap it out of the air, they can block.
Got it.
You know, but and then the pitching team they like swarm and take the ball, and it is mayhem, pretty dangerous. It ended up being like sort of a pig pile, and you'd sort of like have to drag people out to like find the guy and hit him with the ball, or yeah, it was bad. It was kind of like it was like a very, very, very gentle version of Braveheart. You know, those fight scenes where they're all just like running at each other and they just slam into each other.
Yeah.
We made that one up.
Yikes.
Just because
Were
we
you
had
in pads?
No, this was in high school. We were just like in between at lunch. We would do it, and everyone was like, "A, you're too big and strong to be doing this game, and B, it is like horrendously dangerous." You know, like if we're 6-year-olds, it'd be too dangerous, but we'd be too weak to do anything. But we were like, you know, mid puberty, you know, like hitting puberty, and so yeah, we would beat the bag out of each other. It was a great game. Content.
It's not far off from pickleball. We're just making things up now.
I can't believe the pickleball. Have you ever played pickleball?
No, but I want to.
Really?
It seems just like giant table tennis or tiny tennis.
What's the difference between ping pong and table tennis?
I don't think anything. I just called it a weird name, but it's ping pong also.
Right. And table tennis is tennis on a ping pong table.
Yeah, I guess. I was just home visiting my family. My parents and I were watching a professional cornhole. They're tournaments now, and it's televised.
How good are they? Incredible. I bet they're incredible.
Yeah. It's just swish after swish. I'm like, what are we watching? Well, they're called airmail when they're swishes. If you're diving over something that landed.
You watched it on TV. You didn't go to the World Championships?
Well, I didn't know in time. There were open seats, let me tell you. I could have showed up.
Cornhole Championships. I'm betting. Where do you think they are? Without looking, I'm betting
Ohio.
Vegas. Oh, interesting.
Yeah. The top 2 teams that were playing were Ohio and Pennsylvania.
2-2. Okay. World Championships. Ugh.
Oh, they're
South Carolina.
Ping pong or beer pong world championships too. My friend actually runs them. He went to Carnegie Mellon, and now it's a huge deal every year.
Where, Vegas?
Yeah, it's in Vegas. So that's what that's what made me think of it. It's always in Vegas.
Yeah.
So wait, where is it?
Well, this one says it's in South Carolina.
I believe that. My mom was like, "Why is it called cornhole?" I'm like, well, there's a hole, and I bet they fill those beanbags up with dried corn.
Yeah. For sure.
That's definitely it.
There's when I was in
pickleball is a little more confusing.
Yeah, I don't understand that one either. Right? What's the etymology of pickleball?
You were in North Carolina?
We played a version of beer pong called Civil War, and I thought that was really funny. It ended up being a really great version of it, but it was like the name of it. I was just like, of course it's Civil War. Cool guys. Mm-hmm.
What was just called history class?
Pickleball. I'll just look up pickleball Y because that's sort of what I'm more interested in.
And the answer is because we've run out of things to do. We needed to make up a new thing. Have you seen Teqball? I was trying to describe this.
No, what
You
is
seen it?
Teqball? No, I don't know what it is.
It's okay. Imagine table tennis, excuse me, ping pong, and soccer had a baby, and
Oh, I have seen
it's
it.
like
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's
It's a
like
soccer ball,
a
right?
ping pong table that's kind of curved so that the ball bounces more sideways, but mostly still up to the point where the players who can only use their feet like soccer have to do spinning kicks above their head pretty much every time.
And well, they can use their head, can't they?
They can use their head, they cannot use their shoulders all the way down to their hands, like soccer. It's table soccer, and it's crazy. I
Not
know.
bad.
Well,
Not
we're
bad.
running out of things, so we might as well play full contact wiffle ball.
Yeah, that was a bad one.
What's funny is that when you said that, I was like, ooh, getting hit with a wiffle ball can really hurt if you throw it hard enough. But that's not the problem. The ball is not even the number one concern.
Yeah. Yeah, the concern was the just free for all brawl that was happening in the soccer field or whatever.
Did you have techniques or positions that you would play? Like they knew that you were always really good at blocking or punching?
We started to develop techniques, but this game lasted probably like 11 days. And then it died because their teachers or principal was like, you can't be fist fighting in
Because
the
they took
yard.
down that fence.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
grass
What
was
are we
done
gonna do?
growing.
We would have like blockers or wedge blockers, or um if you could take out one of their bigger people and just like keep them off to the side, or if you could occupy multiple people, like if I could hold two or three people at once, that gave my side
Wow.
a tremendous advantage. um there was people who would like sort of chaperone the runner versus attack the ball.
Attack a specific block. Yeah.
Right. Or well, so the
Or go
the
for the ball.
hitting team can't pick up the ball. So what we would do is some of us would run right over to the ball and then wait for the pitching team to try to pick up the ball, and then as soon as they
Right.
picked it up, we'd tackle them or throw them or throw somebody onto them or whatever. Or if they were trying to throw it to their friend, so they would pass the ball to their friends and then we'd catch their arm or whatever. So it was tough, but we're stupid and we're kids, and so we come up with dumb games. Pickleball. I've never played pickleball.
Oh, sorry. But adults are doing this too. Pickleball is just
I know it's the adult version. It's all basketball. People are just making up new games left and right, and they're catching on now. Scooters. I can't believe there's electric scooters everywhere.
they're acceptable now socially. I remember when it first happened, you felt the same way that it was like doofy to be on one.
I remember specifically there was a time when I was in Santa Monica. I was like really drunk and I was riding a scooter from like the bar to a party with like and thinking like I feel so great right now. I'm having the best time. I must look like the dumbest person. I'm sure I look like the dumbest person on the planet, just scooting around like all drunk and like an idiot.
Is that considered a DUI? No, maybe.
I don't know.
I remember I
Probably.
had a cooler scooter and I looked it up. It's a cooler. It's what it sounds like. It's a cooler with two sets of
Oh,
wheels on it and handles
I thought it
and a
was a
motor.
scooter that was cooler than the regular type of scooter. And I'm
No.
like, do tell. Streamers?
Yeah, it's a cooler. It held beers. But I looked
Uh-huh.
it up and you can get a DUI in those.
Yeah. I wonder. I'm sure you can get Can you get a DUI on a bicycle? No. Can you?
Yes.
I mean, yes.
It doesn't have to be a motor vehicle. And see, the thing is,
What's a
you're
vehicle?
technically putting other people at risk still because
Yeah.
you could mess with other cars, so you can get a DUI on a bike.
Big time. I know that you can hurt people while riding a bike. Humans, automobiles,
Well, if
whatever.
you're just drunk in a field on a bike by yourself, shouldn't that be legal?
Well, I think that's why they developed the it's sort of the system is like if the cop doesn't catch you, is how illegal is it? What if you get like
I
a
mean, technically,
what?
it's still
Oh my
illegal.
god! Can you imagine if you went through like a traffic stop and was one of those like camera things and it flashes and you're on the bike like, yeah, what's up?
And one of those camera things were breathalyzers. They could
Oh
scan
my
your
god, that
blood.
would
We're
suck.
getting there, aren't we?
We're getting there. Yeah.
We'll be nice and safe.
Hopefully, the improvements in getting screwed. Hopefully, like the drunk the hopefully the improvements in technology of catching will force the improvements in technology with intoxicating. You see what I'm saying? There will be equal levels of escalation.
We'll get by it. Yes. The better we are at catching people writing viruses, the better they are at writing viruses.
The better the viruses get, exactly.
Or
So
not even just the computer example. Yeah, the more penicillin we use, the stronger the viruses get.
great.
So we have to make a total fithead sport, I've decided. That's what all this is leading to for sure.
So, would you want a new sport, or do you just want a conglomerate of like a decathlon, or like do a completely new game?
It should be a completely new game, but
Mm.
in the sense that full contact wiffle ball is really just football and wiffle ball, and the sense that pickleball is just little tennis for old people and people our age.
Yeah, it's floor table tennis.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so now we just need to word salad this.
So, but what is have you ever heard of or watched or played True American?
No.
That's a fictional game on the show New Girl. I highly recommend you check a couple episodes out because they don't really they describe a drinking game and it looks so awesome. I'm sure it's not awesome because they just like it's a show and they didn't like sit down and write out a full set of rules or whatever. But it's exactly the idea that you're talking about, which is where like let's make up a brand new game. Let's definitely have beers involved and let's have a great
I didn't say
game
anything
for
about beers.
it was
Okay,
heavily
fine.
implied. Heavily implied. A
When was the
fitheads
beer mile
game.
invented?
When was the high five invented? Guess. Don't look it up.
What? The high
When
five was
was the
not
high five
invented.
invented?
It's on the periodic table. It's always been. It's an element.
1977.
What? What did we have four fingers and evolved in 1977 to finally do it?
The two most documented candidates for the origin stories of the high five are the Los Angeles Dodgers professional baseball team on October 2nd, 1977, and the Louisville Cardinal men's college basketball team during the 1978-1979 season.
There are people on Earth that were born before the high five. No. That's insane.
You know, I don't
We
know.
should invent something as ubiquitous as the high five. The ET?
No, that's terrible. What if you did a high five, but just your fingertips? That's terrible. What? All right, we'll workshop it. Let me give me a week. I'll come up with something good.
Fist bumping.
I mean, I
Lock and key.
love when somebody puts their fist out to fist bump me and I just grab their hand. And I also like fist bumping someone's open palm for a high five.
When you do that, it's on purpose. When I do that, it's socially awful.
Oh, it's endearing. Come on.
Mm-mm. What happened? Oh, I was cutting the floor out of a vehicle to make a Flintstones car, and it was taking forever. Mm-hmm. And finally, like it would be, turn the camera off. I'm still going, trying to get through this metal. And then my videographer would come back and I'm like, no, yes, no, yes, no, fine. This is it. We got it. And then he finally slammed through it. And I went, we got this, the moment that finally came through after hours. And I went to high five my collaborator. And it was one of those. It was one of those.
Typical.
And you can't, like, the moment is about the moment, not about the joke of the awkwardness. There's not another storyline. We don't need that hilarious other moment. We need to know that the floor came through and we celebrate. Anyway.
I'm so sorry that happened. How long did you cry yourself to sleep for? Are you still doing it?
We just got another car and started over. Take two.
The other day I was in a workout class and we did a exceptionally hard ending set or whatever, ending round. And she's like, all right, that's it. You're done. Great job, everybody. You know, clap, clap, clap. And then I just sort of get up on my knees basically, and I'm looking around, sort of zoning out. And as I'm zoning out of breath, there's a couple next to me, a guy and a girl, and they're sort of zoning out too. We all sort of look at each other, just not on purpose, but you know, you're just sort of like out of breath and looking around. And then I see them, and they're probably 8 to 10 feet away, but I raise my arm up and I pantomime a high five, and I sort of air high five them. And the girl gives me this look like, what? Ugh. What are you? Ugh. What is? Ugh. And I'm like,
she was born before 1977, clearly.
Yeah, clear. And I'm like, oops. Anyway, sorry about that. And I just sort of like looked away and I, you know, pretended like it didn't happen. And I had a nervous meltdown, whatever. And then a few minutes later, you know, you wipe the mat down, you put the mat away or whatever, and you put your towel in the laundry bin.
But there's more.
As they're leaving, the guy comes over and he goes, dude, she just told me that I missed your high five. I am so sorry, dude. And he raises his hand for a high five. And I go, isn't that funny?
What?
And I go, next time. Is that weird?
That's so bizarre.
Is that the weirdest interaction of all time?
So she wasn't unhappy with her unsolicited high five getting? She was thinking it belonged to him?
Here's what I think happened. I think she wasn't into the high five, period. But I also think she didn't really understand what I was doing, because she's just not in that life, that like high-fiving strangers type of life.
Yeah.
And then when she told her boyfriend, the boyfriend was like, "Oh man, I love that," and then like wanted to say something to me afterwards. That's my sense of it, and I think that's a pretty optimistic way of looking at it. A pessimistic way would be like, that creep like wanted to wave at me for some reason. He's disgusted, you know, like that. If I went down that rabbit hole, I could see making that argument or that idea or whatever. So I choose not to. I choose to think and I guess one of my other optimistic is that she didn't really get it until about 8 seconds later, you know, because she's out of breath and we just finished a workout class. She's like, what is this guy doing? I don't understand.
She's a woman.
Yeah. And then when she told the boyfriend, I think the boyfriend's response is pretty straightforward. He didn't see it. Because otherwise he seemed like he would have run over and, what's up, dude? That was sick, bro. You know, like
chest bump. Yeah,
exactly. Butt slap, chest bump, whatever you want to, dealer's choice. But that was a weird
My reading was clearly sexist. I was thinking that she thought that high five must be for my male boyfriend, and he missed it. And now my head is in my hands because I'm embarrassed of my
for not paying
boyfriend
attention,
who missed his high five. I'll tell him.
You know, I'll have to go back. I'll ask him. I'll have to go back and ask him what
how
happened.
Strange.
That was a weird one.
Yeah. And how many times do we sit in our nervous breakdowns and it actually was something completely different because they never came back to us afterwards to say something like that?
That's true. I would have thought that they were both jerks if he hadn't come over and said something. Now, well, but now I have no idea what happened, and it's just, I'm still thinking about it.
Yeah, that's true. How much mental energy and time have I wasted jolting asleep, thinking about something socially awkward that happened years ago
Oh
that
my
probably
god,
didn't even register for whomever was also involved.
I know, and I wonder how much. I think it went one way, and the other people in that were there at that in real life either A, didn't even
Yeah.
notice it, or B, think it went a completely different way. I wonder how that girl would tell the high five story that I just told. You know what I mean?
High five story. There's a parallel podcast going on right now where they talk about it.
Hopefully
The
we'll be able to
do
use
something.
AI to find the two and mesh
Yeah.
and create like a nice seamless mesh of like it's my version, then it cuts to her version, and then it cuts
Right.
back to me being like, what was she thinking? And then it cuts to her being like, he was a weird dude, you know?
And there's B-roll from people's phones that were at the class that just happened to be shooting something else.
Yeah. And the whole thing has like a narrator.
Oh yeah.
In this case, that the high five went unslapped.
And it's Samuel L. Jackson, of course,
Yeah, exactly. Something.
when unslapped. Yeah, well, that's a rabbit hole to go down because you think about all those times that I felt socially uncomfortable and it really bothered me and continued to bother me, and I'm thinking about it right now. What about the times where I should have and I didn't even realize it? How many times that people were embarrassed for me and I didn't know?
So many times. That's horrifying. It's horrifying to think about. So it's best not to. I know a couple of people who have told me, and we've talked about this before, their first impression of me is just trash. I was a piece of trash. And I'm like, great. Great.
Nowhere to go but up.
But I look at them and I'm like, what do you mean? We're great friends. This is super fun that and they're like, yeah, dude, when I first met you, our first interaction, not great. And I'm like, okay, cool. Write that down, just put it in the journal and meditate on it for 7 years.
7 years. Don't they say that first impressions are huge and that sort of colors how you feel about the person forever? But also, I barely remember anything,
They say that. And
even
who's
not
they?
under
I don't
the
know.
influence. Ugh.
Yeah. But that's why it's even more odd for me for all these people to be like, and these are my like close friends. I thought you had a bad story about when we first met. I forgot your name or something.
Well, you just don't remember our first meeting. And I'm like, okay, well, I do. That's fine. We'll have the second meeting as the first meeting.
What was
We
our
were at
second
VidCon.
meeting?
You were with Sarah Croce. You don't remember that at all.
Oh, you were there?
Yes, there was the third floor of VidCon. In
That was you? You were the third
2014.
person? Oh, okay. No. The
What?
lobby bar.
No, that was probably later.
We'll have to make a documentary about this.
Get Sarah on the phone.
Get Sarah on the
Yes.
podcast. Quick.
We'll have AI do it.
Yeah, I don't know. But and then, they say, who's they? They said milk was really good for you.
Behavioral scientists? Yeah, they did. Is it? Wait, should I be drinking more milk? Oat? Oat variety?
Coconut?
We're post milk generation. Yeah, we ran out of things. We had to make up new milks.
Somebody else did really new milks.
New milks. My friends were all talking about this hilarious thing that Aubrey Plaza did, where she started a whole new brand and a new Instagram about wood milk. And it was just a joke. We're not selling wood milk, but I mean, it was, a well-branded company.
Mhm.
And what I hate is that my friends didn't investigate. This was in a group chat. They were talking about how hilarious it was that Aubrey Plaza made a fake wood milk. That whole campaign was backed by actual milk from cows, that company. And
Whoa.
all of the Instagrams led to ads to buy real milk.
Whoa. Big dairy. They're fighting back.
They
They're
are.
fighting the tide, though. I don't know. I don't think people are going to be like running back to dairy anytime soon.
We are a post-milk generation for sure. I wonder if table tennis is taking a dive because pickleball's taken over.
It's a different paddle, right? It's a different ball, different paddle. They're screwed. There's nothing you can do about that.
I mean, I guess the paddle company is succeeding, but because the turnover on paddles wearing out, not that often, but if you can get double the merchandise in each player's house, now you need two
That's
paddles.
right. That's right. Now you're selling more tables. You're selling more balls, sneakers, I suppose.
Disintegrating paddles. Now they're just like Kleenexes, one-time use paddles.
That glove that just covers your bottom 3 fingers or whatever.
Is that a table tennis thing?
That's a pool player glove, but I can only
Yes.
imagine like the level of sophisticated specialty glove. You can make a specialty glove for pretty much any activity, right?
I don't want to talk about this because now I keep getting ads for workout gloves. The last time we did this podcast about cut off gloves, now Amazon thinks I need workout gloves.
Maybe Amazon thinks you just need to work out.
Huh.
Did you read that article about the guy, the CVS figured out the woman was pregnant before she did?
Yeah.
Spectacular.
And then the parents found out.
It was a
that,
girl, right?
Yeah.
She was like an 18-year-old kid or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Or was she underage?
I don't know. It certainly sounded like that's not how they wanted to find out. Oh, wait, I was looking up beer mile origin. Oh, this is a long article. Could you just give me a date? It definitely wasn't. This is not on the periodic table. It was, in fact, invented.
You're looking at beer mile?
Define invented. Because technically you can't invent fire, you discover it, right?
That's true.
So the beer mile always was. We just discovered it one day.
I think Michelangelo said that. He doesn't carve statues. He
just
carves around where the statue already
is. He
is.
removes the stone that isn't the statue. Yeah. Well, I was just talking about this in one of my videos. When I place pop sockets on a wall, okay, forget it. Don't roll your eyes at me. They can hear
it's an
you.
Audio podcast.
Listeners can even hear you rolling your eyes. When you put the circles on a wall, you could put them all on a grid, and so then they're all lined up vertically and horizontally, but that's not the densest way you can put them on the wall. If you take one row below another row and shift it by half a pop socket, they can then be more dense because it drops lower and higher. And that I discovered in a video. And it turns out there's a whole field of geometry called circle packing, and I didn't discover it. So maybe not my invention.
I'll give you credit for that. That's awesome. That's a great job that you did. I
have a Moleskine notebook from 2000s where I said, I'm going to make a micro blog, a tiny blog where I can just say a sentence or two of something funny. And I'm going to call it Thinksmith. I'll be the Thinksmith.
Thinksmith, you're such a dork. Oh my god.
And that's what I'll somehow make a career out of being a Thinksmith. Anyway, I invented Twitter for myself.
That's great. When I was on the bus in second grade, I was like, what if there's a video game where you could just run around and do whatever you want, and then like you'd sort of do crimes or whatever, but you just like drive a car and it'd be sick. I'll make a bunch of drawings of it, and then that was it. And I invented Grand Theft Auto when I was 8 years old.
Wow. That's crazy. I mean, I guess you could probably, if you can carbon date those drawings, take them to a lawsuit.
Yeah. Yeah, I got up to a lot of shenanigans on the bus. I don't think I've ever told anybody about it, but I rode the bus home from grade school, and I got into like a lot of trouble. And nobody ever caught me because it was the bus. What are they gonna do? There was one time where I took a marker and I wrote somebody else's name in like gigantic letters on the back of a bus seat. And I was like, yo, is this you? Did you do this? And she was like, did I do this? I don't remember. She had a weird Jasmine. She was like,
Did you write?
yeah, Jazz, Jaz, 1Z. So it's not Jazz because she
Sure,
would sign her
hands.
stuff Jazz. And I was like, "Did you do this? This is crazy! Like, you can get into a lot of trouble for like writing on a bus like this." And she was like, "I don't think I did it. Did I do this? I don't remember. What? When did we do this? I don't. Maybe there's another person at another school. I don't know." And then the bus driver came by and she was like, "Oh, Jasmine, why did you do that?" And Jasmine was like, "I didn't do. It. I don't. I can't. I don't know why I did it. I'm sorry." And I'm sitting there like, yeah, this is insane. I can't believe my puppets are dancing like this. And then also like, who cares? Because there's those bus seats are just crap, and they're not comfortable. They're made to last forever. And guess what? If you write on them with a pen, you lick your thumb, you just wipes right off. So like everyone is freaking out about literally nothing. Yeah, that was
Wow.
Jazz,
You
good old
little
Jasmine.
sociopath. Ugh. And she grew up to be a micromanaging jerk. She makes
Jazz.
some people's lives miserable because she's no longer well adjusted.
That was when she lost her ability to trust others. So that's nice. I totally forgot about that until right now. I feel like I have so many stories that I'm like, man, who was that? That was me? Are we sure about that? Yeah, I guess that was me because no one would like make up that story. It's too stupid. You know what I mean? Or like I didn't
you
like
may have
read
just
it
been
somewhere.
assembled and then those thoughts put in your brain as a history. It was written by AI.
The weird history. AI's got some weird.
Well, it can't do fingers and stuff. We're still working on it.
Or is that just what they want you to think?
I remember inventing a punch-proof vest as a kid.
Wow. Go on.
That's it.
How is it? Was it a pillow?
No, it was just a vest out of plastic tubes. My mom had saved a bunch of plastic tubes from a receipt printer.
Uh-huh.
And I made a vest out of them. That we had an invention convention. Did you guys have that?
No. But I know where I'm having my birthday party next year.
You know those trifold boards?
Yes.
We had to do that like for the science fair, except it was for our inventions.
And
that's how I learned to be a great marketer. What do you mean? It wasn't about the thing, it was about the marketing. It was about the trifold.
Yeah. It was all about the trifold. Whoever had the best poster, most fun stuff. That's why everybody wanted to do like constellations with the styrofoam balls or whatever. Yeah, I had to do a science project for over like 3 months and I completely forgot about it. So I faked the whole thing the night before.
Wow.
Not great.
What was supposed to happen over the 3 months?
We were just supposed to work on it. And you're supposed to keep a journal of what you were doing and like maybe it wasn't 3 months, but it was a long time. Like how you were picking a topic and what in the topic interests you and how you're going to measure something or figure out how to do something and who you're going to get as your if you're going to experiment with people or if you're going to like do different types of like somebody did best type of paper airplanes. Like how do you find folds or how to like you had to do all this stuff and you had to journal everything the whole way. And I wrote the whole journal in like a night, different pens and different, handwriting.
Oh yeah.
Handwriting.
There we go.
And then I'd put in different stuff like personal stuff. I'd be like, I'm just really tired from soccer practice because I knew that I was supposed to be in soccer. It was so stupid. Like I'm sure like not only did I not get away with it because it's not important, I'm sure the person reading it was like, yeah, whatever, dude. like, A, they don't care, and B, like, I'm sure they caught the lie or whatever super easily, and they was like, I don't care enough to catch you on this. Like, so good job, air quotes, getting away with it. But yeah.
You're like a little Frank Abagnale.
Yeah, exactly. Only like my superpowers, like my the crimes I'm committing are so pathetically low impact that no one just cares that I'm committing that. You know what I mean? It's not that I'm not getting caught. It's not that I'm like they're not noticing. They're noticing, but they just don't care enough.
Yeah. Well, we know his name's Max, but he wrote Matt on his name tag. I guess we'll just call him Matt. And you're like, I gotcha.
Haha, suckers.
Okay, so obviously we're putting beer in our new sport.
So what goes into the sport? Push-ups.
I think we should
beer.
word salad it.
Beer push-ups.
I don't think it should be full contact because you're going to kick my butt.
No. It has to be a race, not a sport.
Smaller. A what sport?
A race, not a sport.
Oh.
It has to be something for time, unfortunately.
Because?
And it has to be body weight. Or, yeah.
Oh, because we want people to be able to do these independently and then send in their scores.
We don't want like a pig flipping competition.
Where you need equipment specifically. Also, who invented the chest bump?
Me? You? I don't know.
Yeah, wow. Certainly someone with small and or no boobs.
I mean, I feel like the chest bump is older than the high five.
What? I mean, I guess bears were doing it.
Chest bump. Why do I have a bump on my chest? That's not what I was looking up, but thanks.
Oh no. Don't look that up.
Okay. Again, so this is stupid. They're saying like obviously its origin is unknown, but it gained traction in the 21st century. I'm like, okay, who cares? It's stupid.
Yeah, that's not helpful. You know, plastic was invented in our parents' lifetime.
You know, credit was invented in our parents' lifetime.
What? People care so much about it.
No, they just made it up.
Can we unmake it up? It's useful, right?
It's useful until as a tool to like raise people up or lower people down.
Okay, first beer on my was on a warm August night. Why is it warm? In 1989.
Credit scores were invented in 1989.
Wow.
Our life is like, is that just the world that stuff you thought was real was invented like 30, 40 years ago? And you're like, what? Like, is that it? Is that the trick?
I was thinking about that with shoes because I was looking into the barefoot shoe trend, and they were talking about the initial shoes being pointy. It's because people that had horses were rich, and to put your shoes into stirrups, they had to be pointy. And so having pointed shoes meant you were rich, and that's why our shoes all are super narrow, because we're trying to look rich. And it just got ingrained that we think that's what feet should look like. But that was very recent.
Yeah. Sometimes I just hate the world, you know. I'm just like, really, guys? Really?
No. And they're all going to be space dust. So none of it matters. Don't wake up right before falling asleep in a cold sweat about something social you did years ago.
And then you're thinking about the fist pump handshake you tried to do the other day.
That's hard to break, though.
What that behavior, that feeling?
Yeah, well, so I just mean shoes. Like, can we invent something just as arbitrary? You know, I guess people are working on it with barefoot shoe shapes. What else is there that is just arbitrary and we don't even question it?
Fashion of any kind, physical attractiveness,
eating pasta out of a bag.
Have you ever seen somebody eat salad out of a bag? Those bag salads.
Oh, push-ups on an airplane too. I'm like, why? There's an aisle space. I mean, we all couldn't do push-ups, but we all don't want to do push-ups. But I could definitely do push-ups on this airplane, and I have all this time. I would like to do push-ups. And the only reason we're not doing it is because safety violation or whatever. But can't we just normalize that?
Why don't you just do a plank?
You just hold it for the
If you need it,
entirety
because
of
it's
the
a
flight?
shared space. An airplane is a shared space, and any sort of, especially recently, any sort of hubbub is frowned upon, and I can completely understand that. There's people. It's
So then,
for some.
just you're saying holding a plank is better than push-ups. Is that what you're getting at?
Why don't you just do something else? Why do you want to do push-ups?
Well, because I can't do pull-ups, there's nothing to pull on, and I
Why don't
can't do
you
squats
why don't
because
you
there's
do
no squat
curls with
rack.
your arm? Why don't you hold your breath? Why do you want to do push-ups specifically? Do you want to do something physical? Do you want to do a fitness-related
Yes,
activity?
I want to work out, and I thought that would be the least intrusive thing I could do.
Why don't you meditate? That's the toughest workout there is. Slaps.
Don't. Get out.
It's my biggest fear. It's tied for first is to be stuck on an airplane with like a rock band that decides to pull out their guitar and just like sing the whole flight. Have you seen those videos of that?
Yeah. Or a Broadway cast that are like, here's free Lion King. And then people like you have their head in their hands. Well, meanwhile, I'm shitting a brick and filming.
Right. So I think, yeah, there's different people in the world. I think that's the point of that. Yeah.
Are we back on the topic of annoying people in the gym? And it's me. I'm the annoying one, and you're the annoyed.
Yeah. Not so subtle. I'm sorry. I should have made it a little bit more subtle next time.
Plane push-ups, that's our sport.
How many push-ups you do on a plane? How about
Oh, I got it. I'm doing push-ups while you chug the beer. When you stop chugging, that's when I have to stop doing push-ups.
Oh, so it's a team event? It's
No,
pairs?
it would be battle because you're trying to chug as fast as possible, and the more push-ups I can get in your short amount of chug, the more my points are, and then we switch.
Oh, that's the points. So I see. So I'm on defense.
Hey, it's a sport, according to you and your definition.
Love that. I don't mind that.
I have.
Tough.
It's not
kind
bad.
of a high cost of entry to do it on an airplane.
Oh, emissions wise. Oh, yes,
Exactly
also dollars.
sure.
Well, we'll say the plane doesn't have to take off. You could just do it on a plane without causing greenhouse gases.
What constitutes a plane? What if I just did that in my living room?
Okay, fine. Chug push-ups. That's
Chug
our
ups.
invention. That sounds like you're gonna maybe
Throw up, puke,
have a reversal of fortune, as they say.
push ups, push chugs, pugs.
The mascot is the pug.
Pug ups. That's not bad. I don't mind that.
Yeah, and then we can handicap it. No, what do we call it? A modify. Where what? Trying to be
Modify.
socially
That's
correct
right.
here.
That's right. That's not
Modify
handicap.
it. You can do it on your knees, and you can do it with non-alcoholic beer if you
What,
need
chug
to.
the beer on your? Oh, right. Yeah, sorry.
Chug the beer on your knees. I mean, that's a tactic because as soon as you're done, you're down into the push-ups. That's a good tactic.
Oh, so how many rounds? How many beers?
There's less space in between too, because once you chug, the next time you chug a beer is immediately after another person's chug, not at least a lap. And that's pretty
Who's
much the same.
dictating? That's the problem. Because
As soon as you're done chugging, you got to switch to push-ups, and the other person. So
starts
when you're done
chugging.
chugging, you have to say
Feels like a pretty big advantage to go first.
chug first or push first.
Chug first because you're dictating the action. And
No, then you swap.
well, going from chug to push up is a huge advantage in time.
Is it? Why? You can't do push-ups until the other person is chugging.
Well, then why is it an advantage to be on your knees?
Because once you're done chugging, you go.
But you can't start the push-ups until they start chugging.
Yeah, but that would cause a pause in between.
Yeah,
where
so
the
it's just
person
there's no transition. It's
right. As
beer
soon as you're done,
starts, beer ends, then we switch position, then we stop. It's like in between games in tennis. You don't like run to the next
no,
game.
no, 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 no. It's you set the beer down, and when that beer hits the ground, obviously we
No more
test to see
push-ups.
that you got it all. Push-ups are done, but the push-upper gets to move immediately.
Right. But they don't
Crap.
have to run to the beer.
They
'Cause
don't have to, but it would be in their best interest
then
to.
then it's a huge advantage to go first. I'm saying
Because, but then you're doing push-ups sans beer in your stomach. I feel like you'd do a better job. I would rather do a set of push-ups not after having chugged. We also need to flip a coin to see.
yeah,
Oh, that
we're
sucks. I
getting in the
hate that
weeds
though.
here. Yeah.
That whole overtime flip a coin, and anybody who wins the flip obviously is going to win overtime probably. I hate that.
Well, is it obvious or is it probable?
No, it's probable. Okay. It's probably obvious.
Definitely, maybe. For sure, I think.
So it has to be 2 rounds. One person starts, other person starts. But now you're starting on the second round. You're still at a disadvantage.
So you need to give the person, or is it widely accepted that chugging on an empty push-ups on an empty stomach is advantageous?
That's true. Maybe someone prefers chugging. Maybe someone prefers push-ups.
I doubt
Just
it.
like someone may be better at the running part and beat someone on that, but then someone else is better at the drinking. We're gonna have to test this out, field test. Just like CrossFit Games, he writes them out and then he tests them on a bunch of different athletes to make sure it's what it's
and like
the metabolic
those early
stimulus that
CrossFit
he
games
wants.
where it's just barbells everywhere and they're just in a circle, like doing those, and the plates are flying everywhere before they figured out how to do everything like a race. Those are ridiculous. And then like trying to do one last clean at the, it's so dangerous.
They're going on right now, by the way.
They're starting?
They started this morning at 9:30 Eastern.
Yikes.
It's the age level, what do they call it? Age range athletes. Senior. They don't want to say seniors.
Oldies. Old fogies.
Yeah, that can deadlift cars.
500 pounds. Yeah, exactly.
Freaking impressive people. I want to do that.
Let's do it.
Oh, that's the next challenge. Do you need to do a muscle up?
I thought you said you wanted to do the pig.
The pig flip? I know. I looked it up. It's even heavier than it looks.
How much is it?
I don't know, but I watched a very fit athlete teach people how to do it, and it looked like a struggle. It's like a dumber tire. And this was a games athlete. And they have 10 pig flips in a row as one of the workouts, which means 10 is a lot. So imagine how heavy something has to be where 10 is a lot for a games athlete. I certainly can't flip a pig.
Not sound good.
There's no way. For anybody who hasn't seen a pig, it's just a big old block. A big red vinyl block. Bigger than a person. What would you compare it to? Probably the footprint of a small car, and then about as tall as my hip.
Yeah, it's a big rectangle. It looks like a box that you box jump on, but it's if you took like 4 of them and sort of combined them into one big rectangle, right?
They're huge, yeah.
But they're soft. They're not wood or whatever.
And you flip them in a sort of deadlifty,
pig flipping,
clean tire movement.
Deadlift-ish.
Can you change the weight of them?
I imagine. What's in it?
I don't want to Google pig weight. I'm just going to get blue ribbon candidates. Look at
Your
this
poor
impressive
Google
pic.
search. Your poor CIA agent who's like watching your Google search history is just like, oh my god, guys, you won't believe. I know I said last time. Remember the girl who bought 10 million pop sockets? Yeah, pig flipping. Get over here. Come check this out. And it's all the agents. They're all crowding around like, what in the
Wait.
heck is a pig flip?
Is this the same girl that thought Tinkerbell wore pink? What an idiot.
Oh well, maybe she's colorblind. Let's just send her some corrective lenses. See if she wears them. So, throw a pregnancy test in too, just to really scare the heck out of her.
Okay, so wait, is this a CIA agent or is this someone trying to market to me? And why do I have an individual person?
What's the
keeping an
difference?
eye?
There's so much overlap there. They're watching to make sure you're not making your own bombs, but they're also watching to make sure they can sell you a different type of detergent. You know what I mean? It's all the same.
As long as it's not a
It's all
bomb
the same
ingredient.
pudding.
All right, Fitheads, what do we like the push-up chug idea?
Can we think of a better idea? Is it a better combo?
I feel like
I feel like
well, we
running,
gotta test it out.
Do we need to run a lap or something? Or is that too much like the beer mile?
Yeah, you want to add more elements. That starts feeling like a chipper CrossFit workout.
Yeah. I don't want to do I don't know. Let me think about it. But yeah, any suggestion? I'm wide open.
And if we're at Corey Bellamore chug speed, that's like 2 push-ups for me.
7 seconds.
Oh, can you imagine how fast this would go for people that chug really well? It's mostly burpees. It's burpees while chugging because you're just up and then back down and then up and then back down again.
How about a shotgun? Can you shotgun it? No, probably not. Not allowed. Too hard to enforce. To regulate.
Let us know in comments if you have better ideas. Should we workshop this more? Should we come up with a bunch of them? People are just making up stuff these days. You might as well be us. And if you can rate and review an Apple Podcast, that helps us out a whole lot. And we'll see you next week.